What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Apex Legends tier list. It's going to be for the Legends and for Season 16. We got a lot to talk about, so I'm just going to hop right into this. I'm not going to bullshit you guys or drag this on as longer than it needs to, because there's a lot to talk about, and a lot of changes, and a lot of interesting, cool stuff that we need to talk about in this video. So you guys know what to do, but keep in mind this is going to be a tier list for your average player. Your average, I wouldn't say it's really like a ranked tier list, because there's not really like a specific map in ranked. It's kind of swapping between like 2 or 3 maps this season, which is pretty cool. So it's just going to be kind of like as an average of how the legend is on all the maps. And for like your average players, it's not going to be a pro player tier list. It's going to be for like your average players. So keep that in mind. No, without further ado, let's get right into this. Gonna start off. We got S tier is gonna be like the legends that are like the best ones in the game, the ones that you're gonna want to pick if you want to do really well and win games. A plus is your above average, really good legends, but they're not like really like broken tier legends or like must win type legends, but they're incredibly good. A is average, B is kind of below average, C is pretty situational, and then F tier is the ones that are just pretty much unplayable or pretty much offer nothing to a team and kind of just a kind of throw pick, which I don't know if we'll have any in F tier, but we'll find out. Start off with Ash. I think Ash is A tier. Got reworked into it's not a skirmisher, whatever the other class is, the assault class, I think it is. She didn't really get many changes at all, apart from the new class changes, which didn't really do anything to make her any better. But she's always been a really solid legend. I think she's solid right now. She was also been kind of in the same spot as like Wraith, but I think actually Wraith is better than her now after her recent buffs. But overall, Ash is balanced right now. I think one things with the game right now as well is everybody at Respawn needs to give themselves a pat on the back, because I think right now the game, at least legend-wise, is probably the most balanced it's ever been for an entire season, and it's been a long time since the game's been like actually balanced legend-wise. And I think Season 16, at least starting out for Season 16, the legends are primarily, they're probably the most balanced they've ever been, at least in my opinion. I don't know, some people think there's some that are still broken or some that are really weak and underpowered, but at least for me, like, I don't think there's a single legend in the game that you cannot play and that's like legit unplayable. Like, if you want to play something, you can pretty much play any legend in the game and you can do well, or at least do something on every legend, which I think is a huge round of applause, and I think is something they need to be proud of. Unlike a lot of other games that don't know how to balance the game, I think that they've been trying to get the balance and kind of trying to work the balance to where it is now over the last couple seasons, and it's finally paying off. I really do. I think the balance is incredibly good with the game right now, at least legend-wise. Weapon-wise, it's a little bit different. It's not really the greatest, but at least for the legends balance, it's pretty damn good. Next, we got Bangalore. I'm going to put Bangalore at A+. Bangalore actually got a lot better this patch, just because the scan legends all got nerfed. Seer and Bloodhound got nerfed, which were huge checks to her, and the things that were kind of holding her back, which makes her a lot better. As long as you aren't throwing smoke in your teammates' faces when you're trying to fight, she's good. Just learn when to actually use your smoke, use it defensively or like offensively, and not to actually screw your team up in an entire fight, because I don't know how many times I lose a fight because I'll have a random Bangalore on my team and just throw smoke in my face, and I can't see shit and I end up getting downed, or I completely miss out on kills and people just run away when I was close to getting a kill. Catalyst, one of my favorite legends in the entire game. Catalyst went from being like a legend at the start of Season 15, where I didn't really care too much for her. She was like, I didn't really care for her play style, but the more I played her, she's turning probably like my second favorite legend in the entire game, apart from like number 1 being Valkyrie still, but like probably number 2 is like the second favorite legend, at least for me. I'm going to put her at A tier, just because I think she's really balanced. There's a few little buffs she could actually get right now, but overall I think she's average. She's not really crazy good, but not unplayable either. She's definitely a really solid A tier pick. Really fun legend to play. If you guys haven't played Catalyst yet, play her. She's really fun. Bloodhound got nerfed. I still think he's really good, just because you can still click a button and you still get so much information, and that alone is still really good. But they nerfed his ult and they nerfed his passive, I think they nerfed his scan too, where I think you can only see like an outline for 1 second, and then I think you only see footsteps for the other 2 seconds now, so you don't get like a 3-second like full body scan of the enemy team anymore, which is really a really good nerf. Overall, I think they balanced him really well. They made him, he's still really easy to play, and you can still get a ton of info, but it's not like absolutely like brain dead as it was last season, which is good. I do think he may need to be nerfed again. I don't know if, because he's still kind of annoying to play against, but overall right now I think he's A+ tier. I wouldn't say he's broken tier, but if you know how to play him, he's incredibly, he can get you a bunch of free info, which is the main thing he does. Just so much info and free stuff with a click of a button, and his ult's still really good. Caustic, on all the maps being played, like all the maps in rotation, I think Caustic's A tier for like a defensive legend. Or at least a control legend, I guess. You can't really call them defensive legends anymore because they're considered control, but whatever. Nothing with him's really changed. Nothing with Caustic's changed. Still really annoying, still does the same stuff he's always done. Crypto got actually a lot better. I think Crypto is actually A tier now. Just for the sheer fact that you can actually scan the recon beacons, just like not even having to run up to them. You can scan them automatically without even having to move. If there's a recon beacon in the area, you can scan it and you can see everybody that's in the area every 30 seconds. As many times as you want, you can scan it with your drone, and that is huge. Not to mention you can actually still get banners and all that other type of stuff with your drone, which is incredibly good. He did get buffed though. Like, I think that's a huge buff for him being in the new class, with the new class system, and being able to do that with his drone. Really underrated. I think he's A tier, 100%. He would be better if it was a lot easier to actually like make him work with his drone, because he's still kind of out of the fight when you're trying to use your drone and trying to set up a really good EMP for your team. Unless you're able to like zoom one in real quick, and when the fight's really close to you, that's the only thing that's really kind of holding him back. If he was a little bit more like able to fight with his team, which is still kind of an issue with him, but I think he's average right now. Fuse, A tier. Nothing with Fuse has really changed apart from the class system, which didn't really buff him at all, but I still think he's still a really solid average pick that can be incredibly annoying, especially with Knuckle Cluster and everything else he can do. The grenade spam, all that type of stuff. Gibraltar, I'm going to put an A+. Shotguns are great again, and the shotguns, all the shotguns got buffed. You got the Mozambique with hammer points again, which he likes to run. The Mastiff, all the other shotguns are really, really good right now. And when shotguns are good, Gibby's really good. Even though Mad Maggie, which is like his hard check, is really good right now as well, but like they're kind of countering each other right now. So I still think if you want like a really good like control legend, I think Gibraltar is one of the best ones in the game right now. Ryze, I'm gonna put an A+ tier. I wouldn't say she's busted anymore, I really don't, but like she still has crazy mobility, and her passive is still just like a broken passive for like a legend. It really is. They made it now so you, like on your gravity lift, you don't have like perfect accuracy as you're rising on your lift anymore, so you can't just beam somebody when you're going into the air, which was a huge problem she was having and really annoying to play against. And I think they nerfed Black Hole again. I forgot what they exactly did, but I know it got nerfed. Still incredibly good though. I think she's like on the borderline of like an A+ to an S tier, but we'll have to see how it goes. At least for right now, I'm gonna put her A+, but she could also change and probably rise up again as the season goes on, because that's usually what she does. Lifeline's a lot better than she was. They buffed her care package so it has so it falls from the sky a lot faster, and you're able to get it back to the ground and open it for your team a lot quicker. And then when you're reviving somebody and actually throwing the drone onto somebody to revive them, you have a lot faster speed and you can move around a lot faster. Some good quality of life buffs, but not really enough to push her higher. I do think she is a lot more situational over a lot of the other support legends, but she is a lot better than she was, and I wouldn't say she's unplayable at all. A lot of people say Lifeline's unplayable, but a good Lifeline is really annoying. It really is. Loba, I'm going to put Loba S tier. For your average player, Loba is the best support legend in the entire game. Just, the Black Market is like one of the best like support ults in the game. Just being able to get as much ammo as you want, especially with energy ammo being used a lot right now, it's pretty difficult to find energy ammo late game, just because the Nemesis just fucking goes through energy ammo and just eats ammo like mad. So just being able to have like that, a bunch of ammo for that type of stuff, and Just being able to get pretty much shield swap and just get whatever you want late game. Even like with the care packages, it's just really, really good. Oh, and her mobility ain't bad either. Like, she just has everything you want out of a support legend. Really, really good ult that can support your team, and you have solid mobility. Just really, really good. I think it's probably the best she's ever been. If I'm being 100% real, I think it is probably the best she's ever been. Mad Maggie, I'm gonna put A+ tier. Mad Maggie right now is great. I wouldn't say she's like an S tier, but like, you run a shotgun on her, run like a Mastiff or like a Peacekeeper, which are actually even better than they were right now than last season. And she's crazy. She's really good. I don't think she actually even needs any, like, I was gonna say like she needs some like balance changes, but I think the way she is right now, she's incredibly good. If you want a really fun really fun legend and want to change it up and play something else, if you're looking for like another legend play, check out Mad Maggie. She's really fun to play. Mirage, I'm going to put Mirage in B tier. He got a bit of a rework to his passive to where if you revive somebody, they have 3 seconds of stealth, which is huge. It's a lot better than it was, and I think it's clones. I think there's something with its clones. I think it's if you shoot a clone, like I think somebody gets marked for 1 or 2 seconds now, which is pretty huge as well. So you actually know where the person is that shot your clone. Because before you didn't know, you kind of they would get shot, and you'd be like, oh, my clone just got shot, and you wouldn't know where it came from. So it's a pretty good quality of life buffs, but still not really crazy, but not unplayable by any means. He's a lot better than he was last season, and that's an understatement because I've played him and he's a lot better. He feels a lot better to play. I'm gonna put Newcastle on A+ tier for like a quick controller type defensive legend. Nothing with him's really changed at all. Even like his character wise, I don't really care for his character wise. The guy has the charisma of a cardboard box, at least like personality and character wise. But like as a legend, he can be pretty good. I just don't care for him as like a character. That's why I don't really play him very much. But not bad. A+ tier. Octane, I'm putting S tier. For your average player, Octane's crazy. It really is. Really, really solid legend. Nothing with him's really changed, but like he's still incredibly good, especially on a lot of the maps being played. Storm Point's back in rotation for ranked, and he's always been really good for rotations on Storm Point. A lot of the other stuff. Pathfinder got some huge buffs. I think he's on like the cusp of going to S tier. I'm gonna put him at A+. I wouldn't say he's like S tier worthy, but like they buffed the range on his zip line, like pretty much where you can like set it up pretty much all the way across the map. It's crazy range. And then they buffed speed on it as well, so you go like 2 or 3 times faster than what you went before this patch and a new update. It's at the point where you can pretty much like dive onto an entire team from like across the map if they're fighting, and they won't even hear you with all the gunfire, and you can pretty much just like third party 2 teams and just kill 2 teams with like a stealth zip line now from like all the way across the map. It's crazy. Rampart, I'm going to put it A tier. I think Rampart's average. A lot of people are going to put her lower, but like for your average players, I think she's pretty damn solid. The main thing that's holding her back is you have to get pretty much fully set up, and you have to set up your walls. And with how much time it still takes to set up and lock down an area, and a lot of people either push onto you and you have to fight when you're not fully set up, or your team's going to want to rotate and push into the enemy team, and you're going to have to rotate with them or sit in one spot and let them fight by themselves, and then that you don't want to do. So that's the main thing that's wrong with her. Otherwise, in the late circle, she can be pretty good, though. Revenant's B tier. Problem with Revenant is his ult just doesn't have enough duration, or he needs an entire rework to his ult. I really think that's what he needs. His tactical's okay, but like his ult just doesn't have a place right now. It really doesn't. It feels really weird to use, and every time you do use it, it feels like you just don't get any value out of it at all. Unless you're like, you catch a team off guard, you can maybe get like 1 or 2 clutch downs, which is really rare. But like apart from that, it doesn't really do anything. I think his ult needs an entire rework, and that's the only thing that's really holding him back. But I wouldn't say he's unplayable. I do think he's a solid B tier, and if you're a good Revenant, you can still make him work if you know what you're doing. And the passive of being able to climb walls and have like infinite climbing is still really good, which a lot of people underestimate. Seer got some huge nerfs. I'm putting Seer at A+ tier. Seer isn't broken anymore, guys. Seer isn't broken. Wow, isn't a must pick or like must play anymore. That's crazy. They nerfed his tactical, and then they nerfed his ult, I think, again. And then his passive has like a delay to where you're able to actually hear heartbeats. I think it's like a 3 to 6 second delay or something crazy. They nerfed his ult cooldown. I think it was up to 3 minutes, so it's not as spammable. And then his tactical got nerfed as well again, which is great. Everything about him got nerfed. Good. We're still really annoying to play against, but I don't think he's like a must pick and must like win type of like scan legend. I really don't. Valkyrie, favorite legend in the game, still really good. I think she's the perfectly balanced right now. If they change her balance wise, I don't think she needs anything else. Like no other changes at all. I would keep Valkyrie the way she is for like the foreseeable like long-term future, unless like crazy stuff happens. I think she's one of the most balanced legends in the entire game. She really is. Great ult, really solid tactical, great passive with the mobility. She has everything you want out of a legend. That's what Valkyrie has. If you guys want a really consistent like legend that's really fun to play and rewards you for learning her, pick up Valkyrie. She's fun as fuck to play. Really cool legend. That's why she's one of my favorite ones in the game. What advantage to A tier? I don't think she's as good as some of the ones above her in the other tiers, but she can still be really good. It comes to if you can land shots with your sniper. The main thing with advantages is that gives you an advantage. Pardon the pun. Didn't really mean the pun, but like you can pretty much carry like 3 weapons. You have a long range with your ult, with your sniper, so you can carry a close range weapon and like a medium range weapon with like the nemesis or like a flatline or something like that. It's like a medium range weapon, so you can cover all of your bases with like weapon coverage for like a close, medium, and long range weapon with your ult. Is the one thing she has a huge advantage over with all the other legends. They can't really do it. They have to run like 2 things, and they're always leaving out the third. So. And it's always consistent damage too. It's really annoying with her all just being able to like third-party fights and just marking people from a distance, and they can't really do anything. So she can be really annoying that way and get a lot of free ship damage just doing that as well. Overall, really solid though. And then with the passive, just being able to see everybody's how many people are on a team and like their entire team and like their shields and that type of thing with their passive. Still really good and really underrated. I don't know why people don't talk about that more. Just gives you so much info, it really does. Put Watson at A tier. I think Watson's average right now. Nothing with her has really changed, but she's a lot better with the being able to scan beacons as a like control legend. And she just does the same thing. She's just always been really consistent. I think she, even on the current maps in rotation, apart from Broken Moon, I don't think she's that good on Broken Moon. But the other 2 maps, she's really solid on. And then we got Wraith that's going to S tier. They buffed Wraith's portal, so it has, I think, like, way more range. I'm not sure the exact amount of range, but it has a really, really solid amount of range now. It really does. So they took an ult that already had decent range, and with their 2 portals and being able to create a dimensional rift, like you got like almost 2 times the range now. I think it is. I think it was like 160 or something. I think it's up to like 220 or 240, something crazy. Really solid. I think the only thing that's actually holding her back is her tactical with the delay. But even at this point, like the one thing I would want to change with her is like removing like the delay on her tactical before you go into phase. But I think at this point now she's so good that if you would actually change that, it would make her broken even more so. And even then, like I'm saying that the legends are in S tier, like broken tier. But like even these legends, like I wouldn't really even change them that much because they're not really that annoying. They can make some small little minor changes to pull them back, but like I wouldn't even do like any like drastic balancing with even the stuff in like S tier. Like that's how good the game is balanced right now. It really is. Like yeah, Ray's annoying, but like at the same time, like you gotta know what you're doing and you gotta make her work. And she actually takes skill to play, unlike Seer and Bloodhound. And then Octane and all those other ones. Like if you're really into Octane's mainly one just mainly like popularity wise, everybody plays him. That's why he's always so good. And then Loba, I mean Loba's great, but like at the same time, if they want to make like small balance adjustments to them, they can. But like even then, like I wouldn't really even change like a lot of the balance for like the S tier legends. It's just because the game's so well balanced, there's not really much on their level right now, which is saying a lot. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. There's the entire list. Let me know what you guys think. At least for me, I think the game is really balanced. And like I said, the game is probably the most balanced it's ever been. So round of applause to everybody that's working on the game. Really, really solid balance so far. It's crazy. A balanced team that actually knows how to balance their game. Wow. Take notes, Overwatch and Paladins and Smite. You guys are garbage. You guys are getting paid to balance the game, and you couldn't get it right for going on, what, 4 or 5 years for Paladins? Still garbage. Overwatch 2 has been out for, what, 4 or 5 months already, and it's the worst it's ever been. It just continues to get worse. At least Apex is getting better. They're not going in reverse. They're actually getting better with every season, at least the legend balance-wise. The weapon balance-wise is a little bit different, which I'll be doing a weapons tier list as well towards the end of the week, but you guys don't want to miss that. Subscribe, share the video. It really helps me out. And I got a bunch more Apex stuff on the way, and along with Paladin, Season 6 is on the way this next week as well, so if you guys don't want to miss any of that stuff, feel free to drop a sub. But apart from that, I'm going to get out of here. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.